Bang, Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, my lovely wife Kara's busy, and today we are doing top 10 underpriced knives. And I know everybody's screaming, don't say that because then they'll raise the damn price. Well, let's just get to it. I do not want them to raise the price. That is the beauty of the knives that I'm listing, is the price. Starting with the QSP Penguin. This thing is around 30 bucks. I mean, the build quality is phenomenal on it. The action and detent is incredible. It is on phosphor bronze. Super duper smooth. I mean, ridiculously smooth. It almost feels like it's on bearings. Now, the micarta is some of the best quality micarta I've seen. The clip, look at that clip. Phenomenal. Rounded screws, so this clip works fantastic. Everything about the knife is just fantastic. Its ergos are just great. The grind is not bad, especially for a $30 knife. I mean, if it was a more expensive knife, I might critique the blade geometry, but it's not bad at all, and it gets down to a pretty thin edge. So very, very good knife. All kinds of positions to hold it and use it. I mean, just a great neutral grip. The access to the lock bar is phenomenal. Great knife. It is in D2, so great steal for 30 bucks. Amazing. Next up, now listen, I'm not going to bust out a whole bunch of Twosuns. I know you guys are thinking I'm just going to keep ripping out Twosuns. I'm not going to do that. There might be one in here, but first up, or next up, I should say, the Savivi Picaro. Now, this is a $50 knife. Yeah, it's D2, which D2 for 50 bucks isn't bad. I know people are getting sick of seeing D2, but D2 is a damn good steal for 50 bucks. I mean, that was once a super steal. I know it wasn't made for production knives, but it's a $50 knife. But where I'm going with this isn't about that. It's about how useful this knife is. And I know nobody will understand unless if they used it. But this knife has been like my favorite user. Like when I think of I gotta cut some stuff, I immediately think of this knife. It just goes right through my head. The ergos are fantastic. The blade is so thin, it just glides through things. And the way the ergos are, how neutral it is, it makes it to where you can hold it in any grip. You can even use it like a small knife. I mean, it's so good. The blade geometry is amazing. Nice, thin, hollow ground blade. I mean, super thin. You can bend it, it's so thin. I mean, this thing is just a great knife, and the build quality is just fantastic. You can use the thumb studs, the middle finger flick. The action's great. It is on phosphor bronze, but it's very smooth. I mean, very smooth. The access to the lock bar is super easy. It is a big knife. It's a very big knife. Uses T8s all the way around. Yeah, the build quality is phenomenal. The clip works great, and it carries and works like you can use it like a smaller knife, but it is a big knife. But damn it if it don't work good. Next up, the San Remu Land 910. This is only 25 bucks. 12C27, phenomenal steal for 25 bucks. It's a phenomenal steal for 50 bucks. G10, stainless steel liners. The detent is, it's almost just perfect. It's a little bit on the lighter side, but it's not like it's going to pop out or nothing, but it makes it to where with these, the stabbier thumb studs, kind of like what's on a Sabenza, it's kind of like that, but they're more useful. Like when I think of a Sabenza, I always think about getting poked. With this, I don't get that. I can literally put it right on the side of it, and bam, this detent is so crisp it just flies. It is on bearings, so it is very, very smooth, but the action is just so great. The blade shape is just super useful, and the ergos are mwah. I love the ergos of this thing. Very neutral. This little area right here is super comfortable with your finger laying right there. Just makes it to where it locks right in. Works good in every single grip. This is an amazing knife. The clip works great. I love the tension on the clip. And no matter how much I beat on it, it stays nice and centered. Great grind. The grind was nice and even, and it gets very, very sharp. Next up. I know there's many versions of this. The SOG Terminus XR, they got them for like 40 bucks in D2. But the build quality of these things, SOG... man, they knocked it out of the park. And now they have a bunch of newer models that are more expensive. So, as I'm saying this, there's larger versions, not larger versions of this knife, but there's larger knives with this same build quality and XR lock that is, that's more expensive. So, this one is the discontinued one. I think it's discontinued, the CTS BD1. N steel, if it'll ever stop with the focus. CTS BD1Z, but it's on bearings. It's basically an axis lock. They call it the XR lock, but this thing is just so smooth. The action is so great, and you can get these in G10. You can't. I don't think you can get these ones anymore. You might be able to find them, but they sell the G10 version for like $40-something, man. That is a killer deal. And now that I know about this knife and know how great it is, to me, that is a steal. My only complaint is this doggone clip, which the new models, not saying this knife, but the new models they came out with have a different clip. It's kind of just like this, and it still says SOG, but it's very small. Not as pronounced as that one, running around saying SOG everywhere you go. Next up. Okay, you guys knew I was going to bust out a Twosun. I got this for $100. $100. M390. Beautiful carbon fiber. Milled titanium. The weight on this thing is just so nice. The action and detent is amazing. Ooh, that was my fault. The access to the lock bar is so easy. Everything is just so smooth on this thing. The ergos, fantastic. And the best part about this knife, the damn blade geometry. This thing is an absolute razor. I love the blade shape, which we now call the drop foot. Yep, I cut myself. See what I'm talking about? Blade geometry. Oh my God, this thing's a razor. Let me get a Band-Aid. Alright. So, yeah, this thing is an absolute razor. The fidget factor is on 10. This hole, the keyhole, the pear-shaped hole, bean-shaped hole, whatever you want to call this hole, the access to it is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. It's so awesome. And yeah, no voids in the carbon fiber. Just beautiful carbon fiber. T8s all the way around. Where can you get this for $100? Nowhere. Nowhere. That's where. Nowhere. There's no other company, not one, that will give you M390 titanium and carbon fiber of this quality for under $100. If you know one, you tell me. I'd like to know, because I should have put this at number 10. You know what? This is coming back for number 10. It's amazing. Next up, the Ganzo F756 440C. This thing has been a work knife for me and has served me well. It's a big, full-size knife, but the build quality, the action, the Omega springs have never broken on me, and the action is very, very good. I just turned the pivot a little tighter because it was a little bit loose. Nice and locked up. The action is very, very smooth. I can middle finger flick it. Man, that thing is sharp. Woo! Woo! Nice, beautiful edge on it, and takes a stupid sharp edge. 440C is great. And 440C is an amazing steel. A lot of people think of it as a budget steel. I think of it more of a, like, it's pretty much like a mid-grade steel, you know. I mean, it's just been around for so long. But solid G10, great G10. Ergos are fantastic. This knife is only $20. $20. That's amazing. The Kooby Heiress. Titanium, carbon fiber, detent. Oh, the detent is insanely good on this. Always centered. Yes, always centered. Banana shaped blade. I mean, it is kind of a banana shape. Now, I modded this. I put a, because I sharpened it so much, I did wind up having to put a little choil in there. And let's see if I can focus it. I did etch it. And we also stone washed the titanium. This was just shiny blue, but we stone washed it. I kind of liked the rough look with the micarta, and it looks really good. The action is so good. I mean, this thing, it's on bearings, but it's only $50. $50. It's D2, so I understand that, but this carbon fiber is so good. And at the time when this came out, it was unheard of to get micarta for $50 of this quality. No voids. You can also get this same model or same knife in micarta for $60. So, amazing deal. Great build quality. Even with all the beating I've done on it, the lock bar has never moved. Never moved. Very, very good. That was the Kooby Heiress. Okay, I just have a few more, and some of these knives I know you guys have seen 100 times, but the damn Griffin. I know they make a better version, or not better, but a titanium version with premium materials for a lot more money, but for like $65, needle bearings, 14C28N steel, love 14C28N, and they did a good job on it. Stupid smooth. The build quality is phenomenal. It's always centered. Always. It never comes off. It never gets blade play. Never gets lock rock. And I mean, I check this thing every time. Like, are you getting lock rock yet? Are you getting lock rock? Nope. And I've used the heck out of this thing. Great knife. If you love a button lock and you want some fidget factor, this thing is amazing. Alright. The Kizer Rogue, another knife I'm sure you guys have seen on my channel before. I am going to start doing some more videos with my other knives that I have. This knife, I've just used it so much, sharpened it so much. The build quality on this knife, it's so underrated. I'm not going to pull out the Kizer T1 because this one is like $165, which is a great price for this knife, and the build quality is phenomenal. But this thing was like, we got it cheap. We got it on secondary market for I think $70. I think you can get them for around $100. I think that's the price. They might be a little bit more than that, but it's S35VN titanium. The build is just amazing. It's T8s all the way around. We did anodize it, but Dirk Pinkerton design. Access to the lock bar is amazing. Thumb stud action. Very, very smooth. I mean, just crazy smooth. It's on Crazy Town smooth. But yeah, I really like this knife. It is a little underpriced or underrated, whatever you want to call it. Two more knives. One, this one's a little more expensive, but I'm going to pull it out. The Tua DW2. He does have another one coming out right now in micarta. It's a liner lock with cross-cut micarta. I've been talking about the last couple videos. This knife is just phenomenal. Listen, everybody has said that. I'm not the only one. Jim Skelton. Dang it, my doggone. Do you see that? You see that? Jim Skelton. Even Nick Shabazz called it a gem. So many people have said that the build quality of this knife, it feels like a way more expensive knife than $220. It's M390, titanium, all gigantic hardware, nice big T8 hardware. The action on this thing, it's so amazing. The grind, nice and thin, dual hollow grind. Their heat treat is stepped it up. It's amazing heat treat. I think they got it. This M390 between 60 and 61, which is pretty good. It's yeah, the ergo's fantastic. Just a great user, man. And I do use the heck out of this thing. I'll never sell this thing. It was a present from Kara, and I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I want the liner lock version, but I can't afford it right now. bought a whole bunch of Twosuns. Speaking of Twosun, last but not least, my new Twosun. Now, I will say there was one major flaw on this thing, but since I haven't ran into it yet, I'm still going to scream its praises. I got this for $140. It's an integral. It's a damn titanium integral, an M390 with great, it's great behind the edge thickness, like 16 thousandths behind the edge. The action is so good, but think about it, $140. What company sells an integral in titanium with M390 for under 250 bucks? Name it. I'll wait. Yeah, exactly. You're not going to find it. You're not going to find it. I can't find an integral in M390 in titanium probably under $300. I mean, this is just an amazing deal, especially if this build quality. It's not like they cut some corners. The only corner they cut was the one bad detail that I said in my review. And aside from that, which, you know, to you might be a major flaw, but I can't get over how much I like it. I like it so damn much. It does drive me nuts, that one little thing, and if you want to find out, better watch the review. Love you guys. Peace.